Perek Azav, Daf Nun Ches, sponsored the Refuah Shalema for Yoshua ben Binza. We learned on yesterday's daf the source that there is no Shvuas HaShomrim, the oath of a Shomer Chinam concerning Hegdish. The verse states, Re'ehu, to exclude Hegdish. The Gemara questions this premise. The process of collecting the Masa Shekel was to collect them, place them in chests in Yerushalayim, where the temple treasurers would collect and place them in chambers in the temple. A Mishnah in Shkalim discusses a case where the shekels brought by couriers for a specific town were either stolen or lost. The Mishnah states that if they were lost after the treasurers removed them for use in the temple, even the people whose coins were lost on the way to Yerushalayim are represented in the Karbanos as long as they are unaware that the coins were lost. Therefore, the couriers swear to the treasurers that they were not negligent. If they were lost before this stage, the oath of the couriers is to the townspeople, since they are required to replace them. From this, the Gemara deduces that custodians must swear concerning Hegdish. Shmuel answers, the case refers to a nosei sachar, paid custodians. The oath is not to exempt them from liability, but allow them to collect their salaries. They swear in the presence of the treasurers, since in certain situations, as we explained, it is the temple that sustains the loss. Their presence at the time of their oaths would alleviate any suspicion of theft by the couriers. Although a shomer sachar is liable for theft or loss, this case was armed robbery or a boat that capsized, which both are classified as onus. Second answer to the Gemara is Rabbi Yochanan. He answers that the Mishnah in Shkalim follows the opinion of Rabbi Shimon, that kachim shechayiv b'achriyusan do fall under the laws of price fraud and oaths. Since our case contains a case where the townspeople would be liable to replace them, such as where the coins were lost before the separation from the chambers, and the townspeople were notified, it falls under the category of kachim sheyesh b'hem achrayus. The third answer is Rabbi Lazar, answers that from the Torah they are exempt from swearing. The Chachamim imposed an oath, so they should not treat property of Hegdish carelessly. The Gemara questions the law of the nosei sachar similarly. The Gemara brings a brisa that states if the temple treasurer hires a worker to guard the para aduma from developing a blemish, a child who participates in the purification process from becoming tameh, or the barley used for the omer, if they are day workers, they cannot be liable for Shabbos. If they are hired for a week, month, or longer, he can be paid for Shabbos and is also liable for anything that happened on their watch. Evidently, there is Hegdish liability for a nosei sachar. The Gemara explains that this is referring to a custodian who assumed responsibility. He created a lien on his property by way of a kinyan sudar. The Gemara explains the opinion of Rabbi Shimon, who distinguishes between kachim shechayiv b'achriyusan, temple property that one is responsible for, and kachim she'enam chayavim b'achriyusan. Torah states concerning a shvuas pikadon v'asham gezelos, an oath for a deposit and the associate asham offering brought for denying a deposit, swearing falsely to reinforce his denial and then admitting. The pasuk says, "Mola mo'al bashem v'chichesh ba'misoi." The Torah teaches us the asham is brought primarily for denying payment for property that was deposited by his friend. However, since the Torah prefaces it with a statement of desecration to Hashem, it comes to include a consecrated item that the depositor is responsible for, such as where he says Harei Alai Shlomi, because it belongs both to Hashem and the depositor is responsible to replace it. Rabbi Yehuda added 3 cases that are excluded from Onah. Number 1, a Sefer Torah, because there is no limit to its value. Number 2, an animal or a pearl that he wants to pair with another, he would pay more for them. The laws of Onah would not apply up to double its value. Other items where Onah does not apply are those needed to fight a war, such as swords, shields, and horses. Now we come to a new Mishnah. The Mishnah discusses the prohibition of Onas Devarim, defrauding with words. Number 1, one should not ask the price of an item unless he really is seriously considering buying it, because if he walks away from the sale, others witnessing this will assume the seller is overpriced. Number 2, reminding about tshuva of his past. Number 3, if he's a convert, one should not say, remember the deeds of your forefathers. Number 4, mentioning to someone the tragedies that befall him are the result of his evil ways. Number 5, one should send a worker to somebody who never would hire him just not to refuse him. Number 6, one should not even eye an item if he has no money to purchase it. The Gemara brings a source for onos devarim. There are 2 verses associated with onah. Loisanu ishas amitoi refers to onos devarim. The Gemara brings 3 reasons why onos devarim is worse than onos mammon, price fraud. Number 1, concerning onos devarim, the Torah states v'yaresem elakecha. Number 2, onos devarim affects his body, not just his money. Number 3, money can be returned. Verbal abuse cannot be revoked.